Okay, we're on.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to talk, share with you about the court date we had on the 10th of April, which was a Sunday. We appear in court or at the courthouse, and we had a couple of witnesses with us, and we get approached by our lawyer, and he starts telling us that the prosecutor wants to make a deal. And this is like some sort of a plea bargain. Well, that's what it was. Now, the incident that we were going to court about this time was this sign that they had. Laura, do you want to describe that sign?
Okay, this sign was a large piece of paper, bigger than a poster, and they laminated it. It had my picture on it enlarged, and Eddie's picture, and a lot of slander about us, and supposedly we were convicted criminals and that kind of thing. And then at the bottom they had gotten hold of one of our checks, our personal checks, that we had written out to the courthouse. And they had blown that up.
Like enlarged it? Like
very, very much enlarged. And had all our personal information on it, our address, our ID numbers, phone numbers, everything, bank account stuff. And they were parading that around town, and they'd been doing that for some time, and stopping people and showing them stuff on the sign. And I'd gone to the police because this is illegal. It's called invasion of privacy.
And identity theft.
Identity theft, huh? Yes. I'd gone to the police about it, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about it." I said, "Well, it has all our information on it. I don't like that." And so they made the Orthodox Jews put marker over top of some of the information. But all that did was kind of highlight it, so people
right,
could
because
still
it was like
see
see-through. So it's just
Yeah.
like you did a highlight and marker, and you go over something. That's
So they didn't do anything about it. So it's very frustrating for us.
And this would really, when Laura seen what they did, just highlighted it. I mean, she was extremely upset, and I don't know. I just decided, hey, look, I'm gonna grab this sign and take it to the police department or something, right? So I go outside the chess club, right, and I grab the sign with both hands and I'm yanking on it, right?
Well, they were taunting us. I mean, they were holding it up in our face and stuff that day, and they were taunting us with it.
So it got to be a little tug-of-war thing going, back and forth, and then I slip and fall. I fell. Okay, so then one guy runs off with the sign. They still had the sign. But in the process of all of this, somebody dropped their glasses, and so we went looking for his glasses and everything. What happened next that day? There was so much. I don't even know if I got arrested that day or something. Maybe not. But anyhow,
well, they brought you to the police station.
Okay, that was the the story behind this whole thing. Okay, now their version. When I'm saying they and their version and all that, these are these Hasidic Gore guys that we're having a problem with.
And
okay?
the Chabadniks too. They're working with them.
So
Orthodox Jews, not they're ultra-Orthodox Jews.
So these guys, on the police report, there was 17 was written, 17 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And what you usually do, you count them, how many are out there. And so, that's how many were there that day. Now, I'm thinking, man. You have something to say while I'm thinking here? I mean,
So anyway, one of our domino players was also charged with assault. They charged Eddie with assault, and they charged Pavel with assault. And he's an older man. Now this happened 4 years ago,
right.
And back in 2007. and at the beginning of 2007. So they decided to, get him, and they also charged one of our Arab workers who was working there, a young lady. Neither one of them had anything to do with this, but they piled on the charges.
Okay.
So over the course of 4 years, they had dropped the charges against the Arab lady. The police dropped the charges against her. And so now it's just Powell and Eddie.
Okay, now look. Now I was just I just grabbed the that sign, and I was yanking on that, pulling back and forth, trying to get it. These guys were pulling, and I was pulling, and it was going like that. Well, and I fall, right? I'm the only one that got hurt, but it hurt a little. I fell down, didn't break anything, so I got back up. No big deal. Their version of the story is what's troubling. Their version, they collaborated on this. They have about 5 witnesses, all saying, attesting to the same storyline. And it's that I punched the guy. I knocked him down. After he was knocked down, I kicked him and punched him. I punched him in the neck. I punched him in the back of his head, and a table fell over. That was about it, right? And so my lawyer is saying, look, you got all of this stuff against you, man, and the prosecutor's willing to make a deal with you, if you just admit, because right now, as it stood right then, they had me for theft and attempted robbery.
No, the charges were assault.
Yeah, but
they said that they would plea bargain if you would agree to attempted theft,
right.
Which is
and they were saying that was lesser than assault.
Yeah.
If I admitted to trying to rob the sign, and they're trying.
But they also wanted to keep it in that you had punched one of them
right.
On the back.
Right.
Which didn't happen.
Thing in the head.
You never touched them.
And so 4 years ago, when I filled out that police report, the officer that was interrogating me was trying to pin that assault on me back then. And I said, look, if anything, I assaulted the sign, okay? Because I never touched this guy. I grabbed the sign and I'm pulling on the sign. So, but see, all this legal terminology, maybe even in America, that means assault. If I grab the sign that a person is holding, I don't know. But like I told my lawyer, if the guy was holding a dog, I kicked the dog, and let's say the dog is on a leash, he's holding the dog on a leash, I kicked the dog. That's an assault on the dog, not the man.
That's a terrible example.
I know it. That's what he said.
I would feel bad for the little dog.
Yeah, I know it, but I'm just trying to, hey,
give an example.
Give an example, and that's the only kind of example I could come up with. That I did not assault the person, but but anyhow, they were trying to get me to admit to. To make it lighter on me and everything, if I just admit to hitting him in the head and hitting him in the neck. And I said I didn't do that, man. I just pulled on the sign. So, then another lawyer tells me, man, he turns around in the courthouse. He says, hey, man, remember me? I'll represent another case the other time or something like that. And he says, look, I suggest you take the offer, man. This is a good deal. And
so
before the day was out, to make a long story short, 4 lawyers in that one day had advised me to plead and take this offer here.
And the judge said, Eddie, if you don't take this offer, you're making a big mistake. So,
yeah. And so, look, I said, look, it gave me a chance to witness a little bit about my lifestyle and, hey, how the Lord is, using me.
Yeah.
But it's like, like I told the judge, I told him that, you know, I live this life. God is real to me. He's present, ever present. He's watching and hearing, especially when I'm in a situation like this, a test or a trial. And he just zeroes in on me, it seems like, and he's listening. And I must admit, I guess that was a sweetheart deal if I did all the things that they have accused me of. And just, if I had just said, okay, I only hit the guy in the head and the neck, and that, you know, that would have been a sweetheart deal if I did all these things. But no. So I had, and you can put yourself into my predicament or try to, you know, put yourself in my shoes, right?
Now, you admitted that you were wrong in grabbing the sign.
Right.
And you apologized to the judge very, very nicely. You apologized to the judge, to the court.
Yeah, well, I apologized and said, I am so sorry, and I was really so sorry, man, that I yanked on this sign like that 4 years ago, that I wasted the court's time for 4 years pulling this sign. 4 years that me and you have had to go to the court.
And Pavel.
Pavel and Jemana. And then I turned to Pavel. I said, when I mentioned his name, I turned to him and I said, this man, having to come here like he's been, you know, his sister sitting next to him weeping. I mean, real tears, not crocodile tears. And I just said, yeah, I am sorry. I'm sorry that all of this, you know, I had no idea, man. Just for pulling on this sign that had all that information.
Pavel is now 79 years old, and he's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and here they are trying him for something he did not do 4 years ago.
Well, look, I'm going to end this tape now and make another one. And the second one will tell you what happened when we came back to court. Okay.